It's time for another edition of 5 for Friday here on TarHeelIllustrated.com. This is THI publisher Andrew Jones, and this week's topic is the House of Horrors known as Bobby Dodd Stadium. At least that's with respect to UNC football, because in the last 20 years, 21 years, I guess 22 years since the last time that Mac Brown took a team to Atlanta, a UNC team to Atlanta, the Tar Heels are 1-9 against the Yellow Jackets in Atlanta at Bobby Dodd Stadium. The one win we'll get to in a second, but those 9 losses, a variety of fashion. A couple blowouts thrown in there, but a lot of close losses in which the Heels had a turnover, a busted play here and there, and they lose late in games that they very well could have won. For example, 2005, Reggie Ball. Yeah, Reggie Ball throws for like 320 yards. Georgia Tech wins a close game. 2007, a last-second field goal by the Yellow Jackets wins it. 2011, Carolina was down big, roared back. Georgia Tech scores late to win it. 2011, Carolina has a big lead but blows it, and they lose that game. And then, of course, the one win in 2015, that was the 11-win Larry Fedora team. The Tar Heels were down 21-0. Before Marquise Williams hoisted the Heels on his shoulders in what I still say is one of the most impressive performances in leadership I've ever seen from a quarterback. Carolina came from behind, won that game 38-31. It still stands as the largest comeback victory ever for UNC football, and it happened in a place where otherwise the Heels have had no success for a long time. Why? Georgia Tech's had a lot of good teams. Carolina, in the previous staff, admittedly struggled preparing for Paul Johnson's triple option offense and didn't have a lot of success against the Yellow Jackets as a result. But times are different now. The Tar Heels head down there this weekend riding a 3-game losing streak, but they are actually feeling pretty good about themselves given the fact that they came this close to knocking off #1 Clemson over the weekend, and they've clearly shown improvement. In fact, if you look at all 5 games the Heels have played in, they've had the ball inside the last minute with a chance to win the 3 games they lost and won the 2 games they won in those situations. This weekend would probably not be a positive if Carolina goes down there and finds themselves in a similar situation. They should kind of change the tune that they've had going down to Atlanta during these last 20 years and not playing well, because Georgia Tech is in the middle of an unbelievable rebuild. It's as big a rebuild job that Jeff Collins is facing as you'll find at the Power 5 level. The Yellow Jackets have really been bad this year. Blown out by Clemson, they edged a bad South Florida team, lose at home to the Citadel, and blown out last weekend at Temple, scoring just 2 points. Offensively, Tech is a mess right now. They're last in the nation in scoring. They're near the bottom in total offense. They're near the bottom in third down conversions. They're near the bottom in red zone offense, all that kind of stuff. So the Tar Heels are entering a situation this weekend where if they take care of business, they should win. But the thing about where they are at this point in time, 5 games into the Mac Brown era, is they're still a team that cannot afford to overcome their own mistakes. They didn't turn the ball over against Clemson. They were in the game late. They didn't get a ton of penalties. They were in the game late. Nothing real disastrous on the special teams. They were in the game late. Going down to Atlanta, where Georgia Tech still has ACC recruited athletes and a decent defense, the Tar Heels can't go down there and beat themselves. They can't turn the thing over. They can't get a bunch of penalties. They can't give up any catastrophics on special teams or have things happen, a bad snap, block punt, that kind of stuff that flips the field and gives the Yellow Jackets a lot of juice. Those kind of things can't happen in order for the Tar Heels to win this game because they have so little room for error. Depth is still an issue for Carolina, and it's an offense that hasn't really gotten it going yet. Maybe it does this weekend. Phil Longo said in this week's press conference, maybe it's time for this offense to take a step to the next level. Big reason why is because the offensive line is becoming more fortified. Very solid performance against Clemson, so you figure, well, if they approach Georgia Tech the same way, maybe they can have even more success. Haven't seen them score more than 31 points this year. I think the running game has been a little bit inconsistent, although they did have some success against the Tigers. But this game is about Carolina. They got to go down there. They got to be focused. They got to play with spirit. They got to be ready to play, focused to play, and not just play hard. As Jay Bateman also said during his press conference, you can't just play hard. You got to be ready to play. You got to be in position to play. You got to be thinking in pre-snap the way that they were against Clemson. If the Tar Heels do that, they might just end this run of House of Horrors down in Atlanta, because 1-9, that's not a good stretch, but maybe they can make it 2-9, but they will only do so if they do not beat themselves. This is Andrew Jones. You've been listening to 5 for Friday right here on TarHeelIllustrated.com and our YouTube channel, Tar Heel Illustrated. Click like on this video and subscribe to us so you get notifications about all of our videos.